at the White House right now, rumors are swirling that porn star Stormy Daniels was paid by you-know-who to keep quiet about their sexual relationship that they had back in 2006. In Touch magazine just reprinted an article written about it in 2011. Is anybody going to care about this?
Yes. Yes, we do care about this. Everyone, well, I don't know if the evangelicals will care about it, because they don't care about what he does. It goes against their religion. They don't care. As long as he gets whatever they want.
Isn't that surprising to you? Because 80% of white evangelicals voted for him, even though they knew he said grab him by the stuff and everything.
Where is that in the Bible that's framed?
But having an affair with a porn star when your wife just had a baby.
I just kind of feel like we're at a point now, Sonny, where he's done so much stuff that it's hard to even pinpoint what's the most shocking thing that he's done. I wasn't surprised by this or shocked by it at all.
The one thing I will say is this hasn't been corroborated by any major news outlets. I guess ABC, Fox News, the Daily Beast, Slate all had the opportunity to run the story and decided not to.
At the last minute.
She pulled out, Joy. She pulled out, Joy.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a scene.
And she may have been paid to pull out, too.
Yeah.
Stop it.
She was paid to pull out.
130 grand.
Thank you so much.
Just saying.
Did you read the article? He was a lousy lover. He screamed out his own name. Okay.
And compared it to his daughter.
Oh, yeah, that's disgusting.
But it's important to say this is a tabloid. This tabloid has been sued by Blake Shelton. In Touch said that Blake Shelton was going to rehab. He sued them and won. It was not an actual fact.
Interview. This wasn't like a story or hearsay. She actually did an interview with them. They have a recording of the interview.
Yeah.
So
she said these things. Is she a liar, or is she $130,000 richer? Richer.
Well, she also, the affair took place right after Melania gave birth to Barron, so it's kind of skeevy. It's kind of skeevy for Melania.
The question, I do think it's an important question, though, and I'm fascinated by the evangelicals sort of sticking with Trump after so many sort of sexually salacious stories that have come out, and obviously the infamous P tape. I don't know if I can say it on television.
Why do you think that is?
But well, what's fascinating to me is that the Mormons actually seem to have more of a problem with this statistically. They went less to Trump in Utah and Salt Lake City, and that to me is more of the fascinating sort of take on this, especially given that it's more than likely Mitt Romney is going to be the new senator from Utah.
So what do you mean? Why don't the evangelicals turn on?
It doesn't make sense because Republicans are supposed to be the family values party.
I'm a person of faith myself.
Are you an evangelical?
I am not.
Okay.
No shade, but I am not.
No shade.
But I kind of feel like we talked about this a little bit earlier. We're missing out on what the Bible actually says, and it's we're supposed to love each other. That's all we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to judge. We're not supposed to point fingers. All we're supposed to do is love. So that's first. So when you get to the point where you have a candidate that is not loving his own wife, is not loving the people in this country, is not loving immigrants, not loving black folks, then that makes him a no whether he's cheating on Melania or not. I just feel like the love is missing from Donald Trump. So how anyone can say they follow God and follow this man, I don't see how the two
real answer. I know what the answer is, though. And we all know. We know the answer. They're more interested in abortion than they are in anything alive already. So that's the real thing. So they got Neil Gorsuch, and they're happy, and they like what he's doing based on that one thing.
But this is the other thing, too, about as a person of faith. Personally, I can decide that I will not have an abortion because I'm a person of faith, and that is my personal decision. If I run for public office, I can govern my body how I want to govern my body, but everyone else in America has to be able to govern their body the way they want to govern their body. So there has to be a break between the two.
Exactly. And I mean, you know,
there's a counter-argument.
Catholics feel the same way, though. I think a lot of Catholics now are coming out and saying, listen, I would not do it, but I cannot legislate that for you.
The Right to Life March is coming up on Friday or Saturday, I believe, because there's the Women's March is happening here in New York, and then the Right to Life March is happening on Saturday. And I know a lot of people who maybe lifestyle-wise don't identify as evangelical, but are ardently pro-life, and I consider myself part of that as well. I actually don't think it's the government's job. I am intensely pro-life on this panel, and I disagree with you on this. Actually,
so you think it should be legislated?
I do not think it should.
Well, let me tell you why it was. Let me remind people why this all came up. Women used to, you know, the bottom line is if a woman does not want to have the baby she's going to find crazy ways to take care of it. When I was a kid, women used used hangers on themselves.
And less toil.
And you drank less, well, they don't know what less toil is, but less toil is a cleaning, was a cleaning thing, and you mix it with Coca-Cola. They would throw themselves down the stairs because, you know, sometimes you can't, and only you know that. Only you know it. And to me, it is not my place to tell you what you should and should not do. But people got tired of tripping over women dying in women's bathrooms in the subway and in the parks in New York City. I grew up in New York, so I can only talk about New York. And decided that if this is going to be in our lives, we'd rather women have the opportunity to do it in a clean, safe environment. Now, I don't mind, you know, I believe that it is your decision what you do with your family. If your daughter is dying and the baby you need to make that decision should be between you and your family. But I do feel that you sometimes have to legislate stuff because people will not allow you to just do what you need to do. You know, we had to have legislation so we could get to vote. So we had to do because people were not letting us vote. So there are times when you have to say, listen, y'all have to work on this because we have an issue here. So I don't mind it, but that's why it came about.
The only thing is that,
let me just respond to this.
I can speak to that, to your side for a second. Not that I believe it. I'm totally pro-choice. But I think that people who are not pro-choice believe it's murder. And so they want to legislate that. That is really where they're at.
That's fine, but they don't. Nobody has the right to tell. I don't. Just like I can't come into your house and tell you how to raise your kids. But if you're not doing a good job, I will take you to court. I mean, there are things we do. Go ahead, baby.
Well, before I took this job, I knew at some point we would be talking about abortion on this show.
And we talked about it
And I talked to you about it, and I said I don't think that people outside of Fox News really know how intensely pro-life I am. It's a really big tenet of who I am, along with Second Amendment rights. I think I have been given this sort of like place in the media as being more moderate, and I am not. And I think the struggle with this is these are the baseline issues that a lot of people vote on, and it's very emotional and it's very intense, and I don't love talking about it publicly on television because I find that it divides us so much. And I will say, before I came on the show, I remember watching Tomi Lahren come on the show and admitting that she was pro-choice, and she ended actually like sort of losing her job over it. That's how intense of an issue this is for conservatives. And I intensely disagree. I respect every woman's right to have an opinion. I respect every woman's right to vote in the way that they will, but there are a lot of modern, you know, empowered women who are also just happen to be intensely pro-life, and I am
in that's okay.
And so you and I finally agree on something.
We don't, because I do think it's murder, and I don't think
it's murder too.
I don't think it should be legal. I am against. And again, I knew there would be a point on the show that I would be talking about it. My understanding was that you think that it. My understanding beforehand was that you were okay with. I think your positioning that you were saying, Yvette, that like it's my personal view, but the government should have a different one.
But if the law was that it was illegal, I would be supportive of that. I'm a person that is supportive of the law.
Surprise me.
But personally, I do think it's murder. My faith teaches me that and has taught me that. But I, again, think in the United States, you cannot put your beliefs and impose your personal beliefs on someone else.
So that's the part that I'm confused about you. So in other words, I'm a little mixed up. Maybe I didn't hear you right.
Let's take a break and come back. Let's take a break and come back. We'll be right back.